night, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here tonight to worship with everyone. Just want to say thank you to my pastor and his beautiful wife for giving me this opportunity. Isn't God good? I just want to say God is an on-time God. I just have a short testimony I want to give what God has done for me this year and how He has brought me through some very trying times. A lot of you see me in church and you see me dancing and you see me crying and you're probably thinking, what's wrong with this girl? But you don't know my story, but you do see my glory. I give God praise and thanks every minute I can because of where He has brought me from. My story began over 10 years ago. I've been coming to church and, worshiping, but I've been going through a lot. I had a lot of mountains in front of me, a lot of financial mountains. And I didn't tell anyone my story, but I just kept on going. It broke me many times. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to turn. I went to every bank I possibly could. I was turned away, but I kept on going. And about maybe like 3 or so years ago, my husband and I were praying, and my husband said, Lord, we can't do this no more. We give it to you. So we just let it go. And when I say a financial burden, it was over $80,000 in debt that I was in. And we just didn't know where to go. So we just left it to God. And I remember this year, February, I was sitting over there and Pastor Joe did an altar call and everyone was here and he was praying for everyone. And I felt God's movement in the air. There was this heat coming over my body and I started to cry. And I felt something push me out of my seat. And I came up here and I was standing. And I raised my hand up and the next thing I knew I was on the ground. But I was shaking. And my body was just like trembling and shaking ferociously. I got up and I went back to my seat. But I was just crying the whole time. I just couldn't control myself. I was just crying and crying. The next day, I normally look at the service, just going back and looking at it. And I saw myself coming up, and I saw Pastor laying his hand on me. And he said something to me I will never forget, Pastor. You said, all your burdens is going up to heaven and receive from the Lord. And I started crying because at the moment when I was standing here, I just released myself and everything was just going to Him. And in April of this year, just a little over 30 days after, I got a call to say all my debts were gone. I was debt-free. And I just want to say God is such an on-time God because over 10 years of just living paycheck to paycheck, coming to church and putting a smile on my face, and just kept on going, not knowing where my story was going to go. But I just want to encourage every one of you who is looking, who is listening, whatever you're going through, know that God is going to deliver you from your situation. When your time is right, He will see you through. And if you don't have a church, I encourage you, Liberty, our door is always open. This can be a home for you, just as it's a home for me and my family. I got married here and I'm raising my 3 beautiful children here, and I can't tell you how happy I am to be in this amazing, amazing house. I just want to give God all the praise and glory. Thank you.